Hey there everyone, welcome back to the channel. I just wanted to do a quick Dadcast check-in with the Christmas holiday over. Not all the time in the world to be making videos and stuff like that. I did get some stuff up. I wanted to do some more streaming, but man, it's been a hectic week. Not only did we have the Christmas holiday, so you got to deal with family and all that fun stuff, but my wife got the flu, so that was one thing. We're potty training the toddler, and that has been an adventure. I did that once before with the 16-year-old. It was super easy. This one, though, he's got the peeing part down, but the messy part does not have down yet, and that's been the trouble. I'm redoing the game room. You can kind of see some of the mess down there as I'm reorganizing the N64 games, but off camera, totally taking down the whole G.I. Joe section. There's a bunch of them, like just right here, strewn across my desk. That's either Tomax or Zamax. I can never tell them apart if they're not labeled. Right there. Because I put some of them up on Mercari and eBay for sale. And I'm like I said in my why I quit collecting action figures, just downsizing a bit of my action figures. So put some of those up for sale. Sold a bunch of comic books today. Like I just had a whole long box in my attic and just old comics. And I just let me just throw up these lots. And they just all sold instantly. I was like, damn, I should have charged more for those. But yeah, so just rearranging the game room and everything like that, just kind of redoing it. I put a short up over the weekend of just the disaster it is right now. But a new room tour, because I've got my old room tour when I started the channel. That's up, and this room has changed like twice since then. So once I get it rearranged and how I kind of like it, I'm going to do another room tour in 2025 just to show everything off, kind of thing like that, because I've got new systems, got new figs, got the belts behind me. They're not just kind of on a ledge kind of thing. So I got some cool stuff to show off for the new room tour coming in 2025. God, I can't wait for my hair to get long again because I hate this in-between stage. So yeah, that's been kind of going on. So just family's been sick. We had Christmas. We're potty training, just so busy. I tried to stream the other day, and so for anybody who tried to watch the stream, I apologize that it was interrupted, technical difficulties, just anything that could go wrong. I was going to do Max Payne, and for whatever reason, the Steam version of Max Payne won't stream. Like, it blocks it. Like, my screen goes black. I can't do it. And then I was going to stream Shadows of Mordor, but trying to stream that for my Legion Go, like, it flipped the screen like it was like a cell phone. And then I was gonna do Final Fantasy 16, and then the baby got up, and I had to deal with that. And holy hell, just anything that could go wrong with that stream did. So I ended up not streaming. So if you tried to tune in for that, I definitely apologize for that. Normally I've got all my ducks in a row when I go to stream. In fact, I thought about streaming tonight, but I was just, after doing everything today, just so tired. I was just like, oh, see, I'm just like slouched in my chair. I'm like leaning forward. I'm not sitting upright. I'm looking like I'm just beat. I'm beat down. I'm tired. But I did want to do like a quick video so I could post it on Monday, kind of thing, just because I want to keep getting content out there. And it was funny, like earlier in the week, we were around like 310 subscribers. I was like, let's get to 330 by the end of the year. I was going to do that either on a stream or a video. And as recording, I'm at 332. So even with me doing shorts, we got like 20 subscribers. So all the new people coming in, I appreciate it. Like I've said many times on this channel before, this is a hobby for me. I just kind of do fun stuff on it, and I want to get it to monetize, not so much to make it a career. I have zero delusions of grandeur for that one. I just bringing in some money allows me to invest money into the channel so I can do better things. Like, one thing I would really love to do is just make enough money to where I can hire a video editor. I do basic video editing stuff, but God, I hate doing it, especially when I'm trying to do videos every day. Like, trying to do videos every day and trying to do like a lot of editing for that. Like, for those of you who do video editing, even just the smallest thing. Good Lord, there's bags under my eyes. I'm so tired. Just the smallest editing thing for like a short video can take hours. So it's one of those things, like, I want to do more editing, but I also want to do more videos because I've got that creative mind to where it's like I do one video and then I get an idea for another video and I get another idea for another video. And to be in, since I'm a small channel, to be in the algorithm, I got to kind of do stuff like almost every day just so I keep getting recommended and things like that. Once I'm bigger, I'm still going to do a pretty good output, but there might be a couple days in between videos so I can do better editing and be smoother, but we're not there yet. We are still at the stage of building an audience. So for all of you new folks in the audience, I definitely appreciate you coming aboard to the Nintendo train. So I do now that everyone's no longer sick. I thought I was getting sick today, by the way. I got attacked by a little stomach ache earlier today. I was like, tell me I'm getting sick now. Because I'm either the last one to get sick or I don't get sick at all. I attribute that to working out daily. So it's one of those things you work out daily. It helps your immune system. So I always attribute it to that. But man, I thought I was getting it today and I was like, thankfully, no. Just probably the buffalo wings I ate for lunch today probably hurt the stomach a little bit. But no, it was one of those. I lost my train of thought. But no, I just wanted to get something out. I do plan on doing some more streams in this coming week because we finished Indiana Jones. We're going to start streaming either Alan Wake 1 Remaster or Alan Wake 2 Final Draft. That's coming up for the stream. I wanted to stream Max Payne because I didn't play the Max Payne games when they first came out. There was a reason behind it. I don't know. I remember I had a reason why, because everyone was jumping on the Max Payne train. A little bit of rhyme there. But it was one of those, I was an edgy teen, so it's like, oh, this is popular. I'm just, it's not for me kind of bullshit. I think that was kind of my reasoning, stupid teenager reasoning. So had I known, well, I mean, Remedy wasn't Remedy yet because they hadn't even done, because I didn't really start playing Remedy games until the first Alan Wake game come out. So Remedy wasn't what I think Remedy is today. Well, I mean, that still was Remedy, like just from everything I've heard about Max Payne. So I wanted to stream that and get my first impressions because I want to do, I am going to bring back some of the older games Josh hasn't played, kind of thing like that. I was going to do that with Pikmin, but I just started playing Pikmin 1 in handheld mode. So I was like, maybe we'll do that with Pikmin 2 because technically I did play the original Pikmin back in the day. But I didn't finish it. I'm almost finishing here. I might fail on my first run through and have to do it again. Kind of late in the days on those. Friends sending me messages. I should have the ringer turned off on recording. But yeah, so back to Max Payne. So I wanted to do that for like Josh hasn't played, and I think Max Payne 2 is different on Steam. So after I play through Max Payne 1 and I do Max Payne 2, the Fall of Max Payne, maybe I can stream that and do a Josh hasn't played Max Payne 2. But I probably, because I need to finish this Final Fantasy 16, so this will probably be streamed coming up as well, because my good buddy Keenan wants to check it out. Because I think I've talked about this in a previous video. The main reason why I started streaming is because my buddy Keenan, when we lived close by, he doesn't play video games, but he loves watching video games. Like he watches Twitch all the time, stuff like that. He'd come over and hang out, and I would play like BioShock Infinite and other games, and he would just hang out and watch the story and stuff like that. And obviously I've moved further away, and so it's become one of those things. Like I started playing on Twitch because he comes down like once a month to hang out and things like that. Me, him, and the wife, we go to breweries, wineries, do adult things and drink and have fun. And him and I will play I'll play video games and he'll watch. So then I was like, we used to do this like weekly. Why don't I just start streaming and you can hop in the stream and stuff like that? So gonna do more. That's why I started streaming. So he hasn't seen Final Fantasy 16, even though I'm like at least a quarter of the way in. I think I might be halfway in. He's gonna pick up on the story, so stream that, have some fun with that, because I want to finish that. I want to finish Final Fantasy 7 because I'm thinking about getting rid of my PlayStation 5. I just don't play it that much. Like the system I play the most, at least I buy the most games for, is my Switch, and then the Xbox I mostly play Game Pass games on that, and then I've got the Lenovo Go to mostly I just do Prime, like games I get for free from Prime Gaming, Epic Games, and stuff like that. I've bought a couple games, but not too many. And then I barely like Final Fantasy 16. no, Final Fantasy 7. I think is the no. I'm sorry. Spider-Man 2 was the last game I bought for my PlayStation 5, and I beat it in a weekend, kind of thing like that. And I want to play Ghost of Yotei, but like I've said before, I think I'm going to switch to PC gaming, so I might just wait for that to come out on the PC and, play it on the PC when that comes out and things like that. And I think I've already said that, like, this generation of Xbox and PlayStation is probably my last for those consoles. I'll still buy Nintendo systems as long as I'm gaming because, A, that's the only way you can play Nintendo games legally, which I do. I've said my stance on emulation ROMs. I think if you can purchase a game legally, you should. But for like a lot of those old classic retro games, there's no way to play them other than emulation and ROMs. So I don't see the harm in that. Which also, speaking of, I might stream it also, but I played once through on Star Fox. I put a short up. That new Starfield. I can't remember the new emulation enhancement for the ROMs to play it HD 60 frames per second. I did download that to the Legion Go. Holy crap, that was awesome! Like, just so buttery smooth. It's kind of one of those things where you remember something from the past, but it's not actually like that. But that's how I remember Star Fox being, and that's how I played it. A little bit, I definitely have to get an N64 Bluetooth controller, because playing N64 games, especially Nintendo N64 games with anything but an N64 controller, is tough. Man, Nintendo really designed their games around that controller. So playing Star Fox, I was still figuring out the controls on my 8-bit DOE controller, still trying to do all that, because here are your C buttons right here, and I think I mapped them to here too, and it was I lost a couple guys and they had to be repaired because I effed up trying to boost and everything like that. So yeah, I'll probably do another playthrough. I'll probably stream that. It only takes about 90 minutes to beat the game or something like that. So Star Fox is a blast. I love it. It's one of my favorite Nintendo series, and I really wish we'd get a new one for the Switch, because or remaster Star Fox Zero. I liked Star Fox Zero, with the exception of the controls. Like, having to use the Wiimote, that was just a pain in the ass. Because once you got used to it, it wasn't bad. But the problem is, if you put that game down for a couple days, you'd have to get reused to using that control again. And the problem is, the further you are in the game, the difficulty increases. So you're not in the training stages anymore. You're getting your ass handed to you. So Star Fox Zero being remade on the Switch or Switch 2, that'd be great. Kind of thing. But yeah, I'll probably going to stream that, because that was fun. That was really cool. And I can legally have that ROM, because not only do I own Star Fox 64 on my 3DS, I own it for my N64. I also own the Japanese version of it. So I've got every physical version you can own of that game. So that is a true backup that I have on my Legion Go kind of thing. So and speaking of streaming, I'm going to stream more Chrono Trigger. I haven't even played Chrono Trigger since I last streamed it, which is why if you watch my short backlog, it's on there. I've beaten Chrono Trigger every which way from Sunday. But it's on my backlog because I want to beat it again on Steam, because that will then beat it on the 3DS, beat it on the Super Nintendo, beat it on the PlayStation. So if I beat it on the Steam or through Steam on the Legion Go, that'll be four different systems I've beaten that game on, kind of thing. So yeah, so those are kind of the stream things. I started playing Dragon Quest 3. Again, I thought about streaming that, but then I just decided to start playing on handheld because everyone was sick. I didn't have time to stream it. So I was just like, I'll play this, because it's one thing, because if you watch my streams, I'll try to stream midday, maybe sometime after dinner, and then if I'm up for it, streaming late. Well, with everyone being sick, the midday and after dinner we're out, and then I was just so tired at the end of the day. It was one of those tired things where I didn't want to invest in a long video game, so I'd play Madden or Vampire Survivor for 30 minutes, something like that, just to get my gaming fix in, kind of thing. But yeah, so those are kind of the ideas for streaming. I'm just kind of looking around, and I did decide today, I haven't really started yet, but I am going to start streaming those N64 games, because I got the N64 set up for the big TV. looping it in for streaming. Start doing that soon too in the new year, just to start playing through those games, because that was kind of the thing when I started collecting it. A nostalgia purpose to collect my favorite system, I want to say, at least the one I have the most like fond memories because of playing with my buddies and stuff like that through middle school and high school years, kind of thing like that. But also I was gonna play it, like not only like replay some of my favorite games like No Mercy, Legend of Zelda, Ken Griffey Jr., but play some games I didn't own, like Mega Man 64. Just looking at ones like there, Quest 64, just some of the Nintendo games that I wanted, but poor teenager couldn't afford them. So I just play some of those games and things like that. So yeah, I'm planning on doing some of that streaming in 2025. I guess this is a catch up and kind of like the agenda for 2025. So we got a new idea for the thumbnail and for the title, catch up and agenda. I'll be streaming some more GameCube games because my Flippy drive should be getting here in January. So I'll get that set up on the Spiced Orange GameCube, and we'll start streaming some of those games, things like that, because I definitely want to play Lord of the Rings 2 Towers, Return of the King, because I never played those back in the day, and I've heard so many good things. I've got a whole list of GameCube games to start playing through that Flippy drive. So that's kind of the streaming agenda coming up. Videos, we're just going to keep on keeping on. We're going to do news. We're going to do hot button topics. We're going to talk about dumbass people like grifting on both sides of gaming, which seems to do good on this channel. And I definitely appreciate a lot of the level-headed comments of the people who actually watch the videos, because I do want to give like a fair and balanced discussion, because I think the gaming space, because people grifted in the political space and they're still doing it. People started doing it with movies, and now the next target's gaming. And that's one of those things I'm trying to, I don't want to say fight against, but trying to deter in the gaming space. Because yes, there are people invading it through social media and platforms like YouTube to try and start dissension. But there are people doing it in games as well, like games media kind of thing. I mean, when you talk about games media, Kotaku comes to mind, where they kind of ignore the positives of gaming, but will immediately shoot to negatives and also call out people who don't really need to be calling out, or put their political agendas in a gaming piece where it doesn't even make sense to go in there, kind of thing. It's one of those funny things in life. I guess some people couldn't make it in real journalism, so they took to gaming journalism to insert their agenda, kind of thing like that. And there are some game makers who do it too, and we call them out here, but we also call out the people who are calling out fake things, kind of like the whole Indiana Jones debacle. And I think you smart people who watched the video and understood the video, that I was not saying Indiana Jones was woke. I was not saying it was going to be bad, that I was responding to someone who just erroneously made these claims, kind of thing. And as I said in my review and my playthroughs of Indiana Jones, which you can check out both on the channel, it's not woke. It follows a classic Indiana Jones storyline of Indy, and he has kind of his Bond girl, because if I mentioned this on the stream, Indiana Jones was kind of Spielberg and Lucas's American James Bond, because Spielberg wanted to direct James Bond, but at the time the Broccoli's were like, no, you got to be British to direct a James Bond movie. And so he was kind of perturbed about that, and his good buddy George Lucas was like, hey, I've got an idea for this like 1920s style serial of an adventurer. That could be our, American, we could do an American James Bond, because originally Harrison Ford was cast, well, originally Tom Selleck was cast, and then he couldn't do it because of Magnum P.I., but Harrison Ford was originally cast in it, and the idea was they would do a couple movies with Harrison, and then they would move on to somebody else, because Indy would always kind of stay in that 30s and 40s era kind of thing, like that, like Bond, with that style, and you would just get a new actor. So Indy would always be between like the ages of like 30 and 40, and you would just recast as either Harrison didn't want to do it anymore, or he aged out of the role, something like that. Obviously that didn't happen, but anyways, as I was saying that and giving you a little history lesson on Indiana Jones, Gina fits that Bond girl sidekick role that Indy always has, who always kind of, she's a strong woman. She helps out Indy much like Marion did, and then Elsa did. I wouldn't call Billy a strong woman. She was really annoying. Maybe their intent was for her to be a little strong, but God, she was annoying. And it's always why, of the original three movies, Temple is my least favorite. It's because of her. If it was just like Indy and Short Round, I think that movie would be infinitely better. Or if they just brought back, well, they couldn't bring back Marion because Temple is a prequel. But if they just wrote Billy differently, I think, it would have worked better. Her character would have worked better, kind of thing like that. But yeah, but as I was saying, like that's how Gina was in Indiana Jones. She was the Bond girl sidekick, help a person. She never overtook Indy. She never emasculated Indy like a lot of people were alluding at. Like I remember someone commented, "I heard that you play as her for half the missions." Well, you don't play as her at all. You're Indy from the start to the finish, and it plays like Indy. And Troy Baker, and I know I said Nolan North so many times in the stream, but those two are one and the same to me, kind of. Troy Baker does a great job as Indy, and I think I've said this before. If I didn't know any better, I would have thought it was Harrison Ford doing the voice acting. It was so spot on. But yeah, not only was it not woke, but it also wasn't bad. It was a phenomenal game. It was, if you watch my games of the year, it was my game of the year. And I had said this a couple times. I was specifically holding off to do my top 10 games of the year because I wanted to play that. Because I was like, if this game is half as good as I expect it to be, it's going to be my favorite game of the year. And it exceeded my expectations. I complained a little bit about the combat, but overall it felt like an Indiana Jones game. I had a lot of fun playing it. I definitely had a lot of fun streaming it because that kind of game, because it wasn't so action heavy, it was more exploring. I could converse with chat, which I'm trying to get better at when I stream. I'm so used to being laser focused on game, and because I do console, and I don't know why there's a delay. Maybe it's got to be OBS making the delay, because I've got the Shadowcast Pro, and there shouldn't really be a delay between the game system because it's complete pass-through. So it's got to be OBS. And unfortunately, I have to use OBS because, I use Restream, so I can stream to both YouTube and Twitch. But because I use a Mac for my computer, I know I'm switching to PC eventually, and I'll do streams from that. But I use the Mac for the video editing and everything like that. It just makes my life easier. Because if you watch the short, you can see my attic where my game room is. I don't have a ton of space, so I don't want two computers up here and things like that. But yeah, it was a lot of fun streaming that game, and it was fun. And shocker, it was my game of the year. I thought about, because Alan Wake 2 was number 2, and it got the loophole because I waited for the physical edition, because I said that last year. To nobody because I didn't have a channel, but I said that to friends that I was waiting for a physical edition of that game because I prefer physical editions of games because I like how they look on the shelf. But also, if I know I'm never going to play that game again, I can just sell it or trade it in, kind of thing like that. Like Dead Space remake, I downloaded that. It came out on my birthday last year, so I bought it, downloaded it, played it, really enjoyed it. But I'm probably never going to play that game again. I will, if I ever play a Dead Space game again, it'll be Dead Space 2. I'm probably never going to play Dead Space 1 again. Mostly because that game really freaked me out. It was one of those things kind of like the makeup of my house, I'm in the finished attic. Thankfully, we have a finished attic. We don't have a lot of basements here in Richmond because of the river and flooding and things like that. But in the upstairs... So I go, if I would play that game late at night, so I'd go downstairs, and we've got a long hallway on the second level. As I come down, because if I come down, my room will be the master bedroom will be right there as I come down. But if I look to my right, and there's just this long dark hallway, and just from the atmosphere of that game, God, it just fuck with my head. So it's I don't want to play that game again. I don't want to put myself through that anxiety. So that would have been a game I kind of wish I would have waited. Either I would have gone out on my birthday to buy it, waited, but I bought it at midnight so I could download it and play it. Kind of wish I would have waited and bought it physically, because since I'm not going to play it again, it would have been nice to be able to just resell it. Especially because I should have thought it through, because it's EA. I can just get it for free on EA Play now from the vault, so duh. I need to remember to do that with EA games if I want to get it when it first comes out. It's like, buy it physically, and that way you can resell it, and then you can download it again if you want to play it again. That's what I do with Madden. I always play the year before Madden, the previous year Madden, because I just wait till it's free come Super Bowl and I just play it that way. With the exception of Madden 24, I bought that physically because my boy Josh Allen was on the cover, and as a Bills and Commanders fan, our players don't get on the cover of video games that often, so I had to get that Madden physically just to have that. And if Jaden Daniels makes the cover of Madden, which if he continues to play like he is, probably 2 or 3 years, he'll probably be on the cover of Madden. I'll probably buy that too, because I think that'll be the first time a Commander/Redskin have ever been on the cover of Madden. So would definitely want that as a keepsake, because of like right down below you can't say, you can kind of see, you can see Griffey. So back there I've got Ken Griffey Jr., what is it, Winning Run, yeah, the sequel, and then MLB The Show 17. Those are both complete in box with the Ken Griffey Jr. figure. I plan on, because McFarlane's got one, getting the Josh Allen figure and putting Madden 24 down there with Josh Allen, Ken Griffey Jr. down there, and if we get a Jaden Daniels figure and Jaden Daniels Madden, I'll do the same thing with that too when I'm done playing it. So yeah, a lot of fun stuff coming in the new year. Since I said my goal was going to be 330, let's see if we've gotten any more subscribers since I started filming this video. Since I said my goal was going to be 330, just the phone going off. So we're still at 332. 330 by the end of the year. Today is December 29th, so we've only got 2 days left for the year. Let's try to get to 335. I mean, we're not growing super fast. I mean, 332 people in the 7 months the channel's been alive is really good. But I'm not expecting to grow by giant numbers in 2 days. So let's try to get 3 more subscribers. Let's try to get 335 by the end of the year. That'd be awesome. 350. That's the stretch goal. If we can get to 350 by January 1st, that would be awesome. One thing I do plan to do, something I plan to stream, and I gotta remember to do it. I'm gonna do Donkey Kong Country. That's a nostalgia stream for me. Back when that game first came out, I got it for Christmas that year, and my buddies and my parents threw a New Year's Eve party, and some of my friends were over for that. Our goal was to beat the game before it struck midnight. So New Year's Eve, as long as I don't have family obligations, which I shouldn't because my wife and I aren't going anywhere, she'll probably be in bed by 10. In fact, since her and I have been dating, I think the first year we were dating, we stayed up till midnight. Every year after that, I've stayed up till midnight a couple times, mostly just playing video games or watching TV or something like that. But she's fallen asleep before then. A couple times she fell asleep on the couch, and I woke her up. Happy New Year, honey, kiss, and then I would help her to bed. And then sometimes I'd go to bed, and then other times I'd stay up. So, yeah, so I'm gonna try to stream Donkey Kong Country New Year's Eve, and the goal is to beat it before midnight. I'm gonna look up the how long to beat for that one, and I'm not gonna try to time it for midnight because I guarantee if I do that, we'll beat it after midnight. But the goal will be we're gonna stream it and we're gonna beat it before midnight. And I don't know. I've got a couple ways to play it. We can play it on the Switch. Do I own the game? No, I do not own that game currently. That's one of those games I mean to get for my Super Nintendo collection. But I got the Switch. I got the Super Nintendo Mini. Might do the Super Nintendo Mini though. You know what? Because where is it? Where's my Super? Oh no! I was gonna say there's my Super Nintendo right there. I was gonna say, you know what? I should get it and play it on because that's my original Super Nintendo, not a repurchase like some of my other retro systems. I was like, play it on that, but then I remembered it was like, oh yeah, I've had trouble getting the Super Nintendo to work on the Bravia, so that would probably be a terrible idea to try to do that. So I'll figure. I think I'm gonna do the Mini, considering that is the closest to playing like the original Super Nintendo. So we might do that for New Year's Eve. Play that. I'll try to get Sean up here. Him and I can take some turns and play that game and just have a fun New Year's Eve chat and hang out and play with that game. But yeah, so that's kind of the catch up for the channel. Some of the early plans for 2025. As far as like some of the stuff I normally do on the channel, I'm going to try to get back to doing Saturday morning speed runs. Again, people have been sick, holidays, so I haven't really been doing that. In fact, I haven't even been keeping up without streaming. So I've fallen behind on the Nintendo challenges. So like figure reviews, those will probably go by the wayside, only because, like I said, I'm kind of out of collecting. I got here and there, I'll be getting some new figures periodically, probably mostly just wrestlers, because that's pretty much what I'm going to focus on collecting. Like I said, I'm downsizing my G.I. Joe figures, selling off several of those kind of things, and just kind of curating, making it more precise. But so figure reviews will be very few and far between. I'm going to try to do more video game reviews, but I don't get codes. So it's one of those things like I've got to purchase the game with my own money, and then I've got to find the time to play and beat the game, or at least play through a good chunk of the game to where I can give an honest review. I don't think you can really review a game unless you're at least halfway through, where you've basically seen everything the game has to offer, kind of thing. So I'm gonna do reviews when I can do reviews. It'll probably mostly be Switch and Game Pass games, day one Game Pass games, kind of things. Something I've been toying with, the idea of doing is like retro reviews, like picking out games, like games that are ranked really high, really low, and kind of somewhere in the middle, and just reviewing them with kind of a modern eye, saying, hey, this 10 out of 10 from 1997, does it still hold up? This 3 out of 10 from 2000, maybe it's better than what people thought it was, because there are games like that. There are games that get reviewed poorly when they first come out, but then, you know, people weren't ready for them, and you play it later on. Like, I've never played it, so I can't gauge it, but like Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, a lot of people hated that when it first came out. But I've heard a lot of people have played it since then and are like, oh, wow, this is kind of a predecessor to Tears for the Kingdom, for Legend of Zelda, because, you know, you build these vehicles and you can kind of do your own thing to get through the game. So it's one of those things, more people appreciate it now than I think they did back in the day. So that's something I've been toying with, like a retro review kind of thing, just playing games from like the Xbox, PlayStation, GameCube, N64, Dreamcast, Sega Saturn era, and just kind of like giving a little review on it, playing through it, maybe stream it, and then like do like little cut up the streams and do an edit and give you my review, kind of thing like that. So we're gonna see about that, but that's it for the check-in. What's ahead for 2025? I just want to do one of those videos. One thing that will be coming before the new year, I've got to film it, and I thought about filming it now, but I didn't want to get them out. I will be doing my top 10 action figures of 2024. That might be the last top 10 action figures I ever did. And you're like, Josh, that was the first. If you follow my Instagram, for the last like 5 years, I've been doing a top 10 figures. So I might recap that in that video, just kind of go through those lists and say, oh, these were my top 10 figures of these previous years, or have that be like a separate video. I don't know, but yeah. So that's kind of like the two things I can definitely say I'll be doing before the new year. Top 10 action figures of 2024, and also we're definitely going to try to do that Donkey Kong Country stream on New Year's Eve. So thanks for hanging out. Let's try to get the 350 before the new year. That would be awesome, but 335 would be cool as well. That's the goal. 350 is the stretch goal. Didn't mean to hit my elbow on the table. So anyways, thank you for hanging out. If you're new here, don't forget to like. If you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. You can click that ring-a-ling bell to get notified, but I have 2 channels that I think I get notifications from. Everything else is not notifications, but usually when I'm hanging out here at video editing, I just go to my subs and see what's new anyway. So that's how I find out. So I don't require that. Clicking that notification bell, you don't have to do that, but a like and a subscribe would be awesome. So yeah. So a couple more videos coming for the rest of the year, and then we'll see you in 2025, man. I'm going to be awesome. Anyways, take care now. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.